The last signal. Commander Zeth stared at the display screen in complete shock. His three eyes blinked rapidly as he tried to understand what he was seeing. For the first time in 200 years, Earth had gone completely silent. "This cannot be right," he whispered to his assistant. "Check the equipment again." The young alien officer pressed several buttons on the control panel. His hands shook slightly as he worked. "Sir, I have checked everything 3 times. All systems are working perfectly. Earth has stopped all communications." Zeth felt his heart racing. As the head of the Galactic Monitoring Station, he had spent his entire career listening to Earth's endless chatter. Humans were known throughout the galaxy as the noisemakers. They never stopped talking, broadcasting or sending signals into space, radio waves, television shows, internet data, military communications. Earth pumped out information 24 hours a day. The constant stream of human voices had become background noise in the galaxy. Most aliens found it annoying, but Zeth had grown used to it. Now there was nothing but silence. "When did it stop?" Zeth asked, his voice trembling. "Exactly 12 hours ago, sir. At 14:30 Galactic Standard Time, every signal from Earth just ended." Zeth walked to the large observation window. Far below, he could see the blue and green planet that had puzzled the galaxy for centuries. Earth looked the same as always, peaceful, beautiful, and completely normal. "Send a message to the Galactic Council immediately," Zeth ordered. "Tell them we have a situation." Within hours, ships from across the galaxy began arriving near Earth. The Reptilian Empire sent their fastest scouts. The bird people deployed their advanced sensors. Even the mysterious Shadow Fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system. Everyone wanted to know what had happened to the humans. Admiral Corax of the Reptilian Empire was the first to speak during the emergency meeting. His massive form filled the communication screen as he addressed the other commanders. "Perhaps the humans have finally destroyed themselves," he said with a cruel smile. "They were always fighting wars on their planet. Maybe this time they went too far." Captain Vera of the Bird People shook her feathered head. "Our sensors show no signs of nuclear war or massive destruction. The planet appears completely intact. Then where are they?" asked Commander Zeth. 7 billion humans do not just disappear." The debate continued for hours, but no one had answers. Finally, Admiral Corax made a decision that would change everything. "I am sending landing parties to investigate," he announced. "If the humans are gone, then Earth belongs to whoever claims it first." The first scout ships landed in what used to be New York City. The reptilian soldiers expected to find destruction, bodies, or at least some sign of what had happened to humanity. Instead, they found something far more disturbing. A perfectly normal city with no people in it. Cars sat in traffic with their engines still running. Coffee shops had fresh coffee brewing. Televisions played shows to empty rooms. Computer screens glowed with unfinished emails. Even pet dogs and cats wandered the streets, looking confused and hungry. "It is like they all just vanished in the middle of their daily lives," reported Lieutenant Grix to Admiral Corax. "There are no bodies, no signs of struggle, nothing. They are simply gone." More landing parties spread across the planet. They found the same thing everywhere: empty cities, running machines, and no humans anywhere. In London, alien soldiers found restaurants with hot food still cooking in the kitchens. In Tokyo, trains continued running their routes with no passengers. In Paris, streetlights turned on automatically as night fell, illuminating empty sidewalks. The aliens began to celebrate. Finally, the noisy humans were gone, and they could claim the rich, beautiful planet for themselves. Admiral Corax stood on the balcony of what used to be the United Nations building in New York. He looked out at the city that would soon belong to his empire and smiled. "Send word to all fleets," he commanded. "Earth is ours for the taking. Begin colonization immediately." But as night fell over the silent planet, none of the celebrating aliens noticed the strange movement in Earth's shadows. They did not see the small heat signatures that their sensors dismissed as animal life. They had no idea that in hidden places deep underground, millions of humans were watching and waiting, and far behind Earth's moon, Where no alien scanner could detect them, Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of her flagship. She watched the alien celebration through her telescopes and smiled coldly. "Let them think they have won," she whispered to her officers. "Tomorrow they will learn what happens when you try to take Earth from humanity." The last signal from Earth had been sent exactly as planned. Phase 1 was complete. Now the real war could begin. The gathering storm. 3 months earlier, deep inside the hidden military base beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Sarah Chen stood before a massive holographic display. The image showed thousands of alien ships moving toward Earth like a deadly swarm of insects. "How long do we have?" she asked Colonel Martinez, her most trusted officer. "Our deep space sensors estimate 6 months before they reach us, Admiral," Martinez replied, his voice grim. "The invasion fleet is massive, 10 times larger than anything we have ever seen." Sarah studied the display carefully. She had spent 20 years defending human colonies from alien attacks. She knew how these creatures thought and fought. They always believed humans were weak and stupid. Today she would prove them wrong. "Begin Operation Silent Earth immediately," she ordered. "Contact every government, every military leader, every scientist on the planet. Tell them what is coming." For the first time in human history, the entire world worked together for one purpose: survival. The plan was brilliantly simple. Earth would go silent and appear abandoned. The alien invaders would land expecting an easy victory. Instead, they would walk into the largest trap in galactic history. Dr. James Wong, Earth's top communications expert, led the team that would cut all signals from the planet. "We need to make it look natural," he explained to his team. "Not like we turned off a switch, but like everyone just disappeared." Meanwhile, General Patricia Stone organized the greatest evacuation in human history. 7 billion people had to disappear without leaving obvious traces. "Use the subway tunnels in every major city," she commanded her officers. "Use the underground shopping centers, the parking garages, the old mine shafts. We have been building secret bunkers for 50 years. Now we use them all." Families packed quickly and quietly. Parents explained to confused children that they were playing the biggest game of hide-and-seek ever played. Entire neighborhoods vanished into hidden underground cities that had been prepared for decades. The operation was not perfect. Some people did not want to leave their homes. Others were too old or sick to move easily. But humanity had learned something important from centuries of war and disaster. When survival was at stake, people found ways to help each other. In London, the underground train system became a vast network of hidden shelters. In New York, the subway tunnels connected to secret military bunkers built during the Cold War. In Tokyo, underground shopping districts expanded into entire underground cities. Sarah watched the evacuation from her command center. Banks of computers showed the progress across the globe. Green dots represented successful evacuations. Red dots showed areas that still needed help. "Status report," she called out. 97% evacuation complete, Admiral," reported Lieutenant Kim. "The remaining 3% are emergency personnel maintaining essential systems." Sarah nodded. The plan required some humans to stay behind temporarily. They would keep the lights on, maintain the power plants, and make sure everything looked normal when the aliens arrived. On the last day before Earth went silent, Sarah received reports from around the world. The underground cities were functioning perfectly. Hidden farms were producing food. Secret factories were building weapons and ships. But the most important part of the plan was happening far from Earth. Captain Rebecca Torres floated weightlessly inside the massive space station hidden behind Earth's moon. Around her, thousands of human ships waited in the shadows. These were not the old, primitive rockets that aliens had seen before. These were warships built with technology stolen and adapted from previous alien encounters. "Admiral Chen," Rebecca reported through the encrypted communication channel, "the Shadow Fleet is ready. 2,000 ships, fully armed and crewed." Sarah smiled as she looked at the display showing human ships scattered throughout the solar system. They had learned to hide behind asteroids, inside gas clouds, and in the shadows of planets. For 5 years, humanity had been secretly building the largest space navy in their history. "Remember, everyone," Sarah broadcast to all human forces, "let them land. Let them celebrate. Let them think Earth is theirs. We need them to bring their entire fleet into our trap. Dr. Wong's voice crackled through the speakers. All communication systems are ready for shutdown, Admiral. On your command, Earth goes silent. Sarah looked one last time at the surface of her home planet. Soon, alien feet would walk on human soil. Enemy ships would hover over human cities. The invaders would think they had won the greatest prize in the galaxy. They had no idea that 7 billion humans were watching them from the darkness, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. Cut all signals, Sarah commanded. Earth goes silent. Now. Across the planet, every radio station, television broadcast, and internet connection went dark. Satellite communications stopped. Even emergency frequencies fell silent. For the first time in 2 centuries, Earth made no sound in the vast emptiness of space. In her underground command center, Sarah Chen watched the alien fleet approach her world and whispered, "Come and take it." When prey becomes hunter, Admiral Korax stood proudly on the steps of what used to be the White House in Washington, D.C. Around him, thousands of reptilian soldiers celebrated their easy victory. They had been on Earth for 3 days, and still no humans had appeared to fight them. "Send word to the High Command," Korax ordered his communications officer. "Earth is completely secure. Begin sending the colonization fleets." Above the planet, hundreds of alien ships floated peacefully in Earth's orbit. The various species had divided the planet among themselves. The reptilians claimed North America. The bird people took Europe. The insect horde grabbed Asia. Everyone was happy with their new home. None of them noticed the small objects floating silently in the asteroid belt beyond Mars. Captain Rebecca Torres checked her watch inside the hidden command ship. "Admiral Chen, we have been in position for 48 hours. All fleet commanders report ready." From her underground bunker beneath Colorado, Admiral Sarah Chen studied the tactical display. Every alien ship was exactly where she wanted them, spread out, relaxed, and completely unprepared for what was about to happen. "All units, this is Admiral Chen," she broadcast on the encrypted channel. "Operation Thunder begins in 60 seconds. Remember, we only get one chance at surprise. Make it count." Across the solar system, 2,000 human ships powered up their engines for the first time in weeks. The Shadow Fleet had waited patiently in the darkness, watching as their enemies walked into the perfect trap. 30 seconds, Sarah announced. On the surface of Earth, hidden humans in every major city prepared for their part of the plan. In New York's subway tunnels, resistance fighters checked their weapons. In London's underground, teams of soldiers moved toward secret exit points. In Tokyo's hidden bunkers, technical specialists prepared to take control of the city's electronic systems. 10 seconds. Rebecca Torres smiled as she looked at the alien fleet through her ship's view screen. The enemy vessels floated calmly in space, their crews probably eating dinner or sleeping. They had no idea that death was coming for them at incredible speed. "Execute!" The attack began simultaneously, from a dozen different directions. Human ships decloaked around the alien fleet like wolves appearing from the forest. The enemy had seconds to react, but seconds were not enough. Surprise! Sarah's voice boomed across every communication frequency in the solar system. The first wave of human torpedoes slammed into the largest alien ships before their shields could activate. Massive explosions lit up the space around Earth as enemy vessels broke apart like toys. Captain Torres led her squadron in a lightning-fast attack on the reptilian command ship. Her fighters moved like a school of fish, weaving between enemy weapons fire with incredible skill. "Target their engines first," she ordered her pilots. "Disable them, then destroy them." The aliens tried to fight back, but they were completely confused. Their sensors showed human ships everywhere, above, below, behind asteroids, inside gas clouds. Where had they all come from? Admiral Korax screamed orders at his bridge crew as explosions rocked his flagship. "Where are these ships coming from? Our scouts reported no human fleet." His tactical officer's voice shook with fear. "Sir, there are human vessels attacking from 12 different directions. They appear to have been hiding throughout the solar system." "Impossible!" Korax roared. "Humans do not have this kind of technology." But as his ship shook from another torpedo hit, he realized that everything they thought they knew about humanity was wrong. On Earth's surface, the second phase of the attack began. In every major city, hidden panels slid open in sidewalks and building rooftops. Human soldiers emerged from their underground hideouts like ants from a disturbed nest. The aliens on the ground had been relaxing, thinking they were completely safe. Suddenly, enemy fighters appeared from everywhere at once. In Paris, Sergeant Maria Santos led her squad out of the old sewer system, directly beneath a group of celebrating bird people soldiers. "For Earth!" she shouted as her team opened fire. The bird people scattered in panic, their wings flapping uselessly as human laser weapons cut through their formation. In Tokyo, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka's technical team took control of the city's traffic system. Every electronic billboard in the city suddenly displayed the same message: "Welcome to Earth. Now leave or die." The insect horde soldiers in the streets looked around in confusion as traffic lights flashed red and emergency sirens wailed throughout the city. Back in space, the battle was turning into a complete disaster for the aliens. Human ships fought with tactics no alien had ever seen before. They worked in small groups, hit fast and hard, then disappeared before the enemy could respond. It was like fighting ghosts. Captain Torres's squadron destroyed 3 enemy ships in 5 minutes, then vanished into an asteroid field before the aliens could target them. "These humans fight like nothing we have encountered," reported Commander Zix of the Bird People Fleet. "They do not follow standard space combat rules." That was exactly the point. Humans had studied alien combat tactics for decades. They knew how their enemies expected them to fight, so they did the opposite. Instead of large fleet battles, humans used small strike teams. Instead of defending fixed positions, they attacked from everywhere at once. Instead of following the honorable rules of galactic warfare, they fought to win. Admiral Corax watched in horror as his invasion fleet was torn apart. In less than 2 hours, he had lost half his ships and thousands of soldiers. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we are receiving surrender requests from 17 different commanders. The insect horde is retreating. The bird people are asking for emergency evacuation." Korak stared at the tactical display in disbelief. The easy conquest of Earth had become a nightmare. But just as he considered ordering a retreat, his sensors detected something that made his blood run cold. "Sir," his tactical officer whispered, "long-range sensors are picking up massive energy signatures approaching from the outer system. Something big is coming." On her command ship, Rebecca Torres saw the same readings. "Admiral Chen, we have a problem. Something much larger than the invasion fleet is heading our way." From her bunker, Sarah Chen studied the sensor data with growing concern. The new energy signatures were unlike anything in their databases. "All units, maintain current positions," she ordered. "Whatever is coming, we will be ready for it." But as the massive shadow appeared at the edge of the solar system, Sarah realized that the real invasion was just beginning. The fire of humanity. The massive ship that emerged from the darkness of space was unlike anything humans had ever seen. It was 10 times larger than Earth's moon, covered in strange symbols that glowed with deadly red light. As it moved toward Earth, smaller ships poured out of it like angry wasps from a disturbed hive. Admiral Sarah Chen stared at the sensor readings in her underground command center. Her hands shook slightly as she read the energy signatures. "How many ships are we looking at?" she asked Colonel Martinez. "Sensors show over 50,000 enemy vessels, Admiral," Martinez replied, his voice barely a whisper. "And that main ship? It's reading energy levels we have never seen before." On the bridge of the massive alien vessel, Emperor Vrak of the ancient empire looked down at the small blue planet below. His forearms moved gracefully as he studied the tactical displays. Unlike the other alien species, Vrak's people had been conquering galaxies for millions of years. "So these are the humans that destroyed our advanced fleets," Vrak said to his commander. "Interesting. Show me what they can do." Without warning, a beam of pure energy shot out from the Emperor's ship. It struck the human colony on Mars, and in seconds 3 million people were gone. The entire planet cracked in half and began drifting apart in space. Captain Rebecca Torres watched in horror from her command ship as Mars died. Admiral Chen, they destroyed Mars in one shot. 3 million colonists gone. The communication channel fell silent. Every human in the solar system had just watched their friends and family on Mars die in the blink of an eye. But then, Sarah Chen's voice came through the speakers, cold and hard as steel. Now you have made it personal. Deep in the underground cities of Earth, 7 billion humans heard their admiral's words. In London's tunnels, families held their children closer. In New York's hidden bunkers, old men who had fought in Earth's last wars picked up weapons again. In Tokyo's secret shelters, young people who had never seen war prepared to fight for their world. Sarah stood before the largest communication array on Earth. For the first time in days, she was about to break Earth's silence. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force, speaking to all humanity. Her voice echoed through every hidden city and secret base. They have just murdered 3 million of our people. Our brothers and sisters on Mars are gone. In the tunnels beneath Paris, Maria Santos listened with tears in her eyes. She had family on Mars. But we are humanity, Sarah continued. We survived the ice ages when our planet froze. We survived plagues that killed half our population. We survived wars that lasted decades. We survived because we never give up. We survive because when someone threatens our family, we fight back. Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka in Tokyo looked around at the frightened faces in her shelter. Children, parents, grandparents, all depending on people like her to keep them safe. Today we show this galaxy what happens when you attack Earth. Sarah's voice grew stronger. Today we show them the fire of humanity. Across the planet, hidden factories that had been building weapons for months suddenly activated. Underground launch tubes opened across every continent. The secret that humanity had kept for 5 years was finally revealed. Earth had never been defenseless. Every mountain, every desert, every forest hid weapons that could destroy fleets. The planet itself had been turned into the largest fortress in the galaxy. All units, Sarah commanded. Operation Hellfire is now active. Show them what Earth can do. Captain Torres watched in amazement as thousands of missiles launched from Earth's surface. But these were not normal rockets. They were equipped with technology stolen and improved from decades of alien encounters. The missiles moved faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. They could change direction in space, hide behind asteroids, and even work together like a pack of hunting animals. Emperor Vrak laughed as he watched the human missiles approaching his fleet. Primitive weapons from a primitive species, he told his officers. Our shields will stop them easily. But when the first missile hit his flagship, the explosion was unlike anything he had expected. The human weapon tore through his advanced shields like they were made of paper. Impossible, Vrak screamed. How do they have this technology? His science officer checked the readings with growing fear. Sir, these weapons are using our own technology against us. But they have improved it somehow, made it better than the original. That was the secret of human survival. They did not just copy alien technology, they made it better. They learned from every encounter, adapted every weapon, improved every design. The space battle that followed was the most intense in galactic history. Human ships fought with desperate courage, knowing that their families hid in the tunnels below. Captain Torres led suicide runs against ships 10 times larger than hers. Her pilots rammed their fighters into enemy vessels when they ran out of missiles. On Earth's surface, the resistance fighters emerged for the final battle. They knew the aliens would try to land ground forces, and they were ready. Sergeant Santos led her team through the streets of Paris, hunting alien soldiers who had landed to escape the space battle. Remember, she told her fighters, we are not just fighting for Earth. We are fighting for every human who ever lived, and every human who will ever be born. In the command center, Sarah watched the battle with pride and fear. Humanity was fighting better than she had ever hoped, but the enemy had so many ships. Admiral, Martinez reported, we have lost 60% of our space fleet. Earth's surface defenses are running low on ammunition. The enemy still has 30,000 ships remaining. Sarah looked at the tactical display and made the hardest decision of her life. Send the message, she ordered quietly. Across Earth, every hidden shelter received the same communication, all civilians to the deepest levels. Prepare for planetary defense grid activation. 7 billion humans moved deeper into their underground cities, not knowing if they would ever see the surface again. In space, Captain Torres received her final orders. All ships retreat to minimum safe distance. Earth's final defense is about to activate. Emperor Vrak smiled as he watched the human ships fleeing. Now they run like cowards. Prepare to land our armies. Today, we claim Earth. But as his invasion fleet moved toward the blue planet, something impossible began to happen. Earth itself began to glow. The day heaven learned fear. The blue glow spreading across Earth's surface grew brighter and brighter. Emperor Vrak watched from his flagship as strange energy patterns danced across the planet like lightning in a storm. What is that light? He demanded from his science officers. Run a full scan of the planet immediately. His chief scientist's voice trembled as he read the energy readings. Sir, the entire planet is generating massive electromagnetic fields. It's like Earth itself has become a weapon. Deep beneath the Colorado mountains, Admiral Sarah Chen stood before a control panel that had been hidden for 50 years. Around her, the most advanced technology Earth had ever created hummed with incredible power. Dr. Wong, she called to her chief scientist, are the planetary defense grids fully charged? Dr. James Wong checked the readings on his screen. His face was pale but determined. All 7 continental grids are at maximum power, Admiral. We can maintain the field for exactly 1 hour. Sarah nodded. 1 hour to save humanity. 1 hour to show the galaxy that Earth would never surrender. Activate planetary shield, she commanded. What happened next would be remembered across the galaxy for 1,000,000 years. A dome of pure energy erupted from Earth's surface, expanding outward like a bubble of light. The shield was so massive it could be seen from the edge of the solar system. It was beautiful, terrifying, and absolutely impossible by every law of physics the aliens knew. Emperor Vrak's invasion fleet was caught completely off guard. Thousands of his ships were flying toward Earth when the energy dome expanded around them. The smaller vessels were instantly destroyed. The larger ships found themselves trapped inside the shield with no way to escape. Reverse engines, Vrak screamed. Get us away from that planet. But it was too late. The energy field had surrounded his entire fleet. They were trapped inside Earth's defensive bubble with nowhere to run. Captain Rebecca Torres watched in amazement from her command ship outside the shield. Admiral Chen, you've trapped half their fleet inside the barrier. They can't escape. From her underground command center, Sarah smiled grimly. Phase 2 begins now. All remaining ships attack the trapped fleet. They have nowhere to hide. The final battle for Earth began inside the energy dome itself. Human ships that had been hiding throughout the solar system suddenly appeared from every direction. But now they were fighting aliens who were trapped and desperate. The enemy ships could not retreat, could not call for reinforcements, and could not escape Earth's pull. The space above Earth became a swirling battlefield of explosions and laser fire. Human fighters moved through the combat zone like deadly dancers, picking off enemy vessels one by one. Captain Torres led her squadron in the final assault on Emperor Vrak's flagship. "This is for Mars!" she shouted as her ship dove toward the massive alien vessel. But the real surprise was still coming. On Earth's surface, hidden doors began opening across every continent. Not the small tunnels where people had been hiding, but massive underground hangar bays that had been secret for decades. From these hidden bases, the true Earth Defense Force emerged. Thousands of human soldiers in advanced power armor rose from the planet's surface. They did not use primitive weapons or stolen alien technology. They carried weapons that Earth's best scientists had been designing in secret for 20 years. Sergeant Maria Santos felt the power flowing through her new armor as she led her squad toward the alien landing zones in Paris. "Remember, everyone," she told her team through the communication system, "we are not just soldiers today. We are Earth's immune system, and these aliens are the infection." The aliens who had landed on Earth found themselves facing an enemy they had never imagined. These were not the primitive humans they had expected. These were warriors protected by energy shields, armed with plasma weapons, and fighting with the coordination of a hive mind. In Tokyo, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka's technical team had taken control of the entire city's infrastructure. Every traffic light, every electronic billboard, every computer system was now a weapon in humanity's hands. Target the alien communication arrays, she ordered her cyber warfare specialists. Cut them off from their fleet. Make them fight blind. The aliens on the ground began to panic as their equipment stopped working. Their weapons would not fire. Their communication devices went silent. Even their navigation systems failed. Above the planet, Emperor Vrak watched his mighty invasion force being systematically destroyed by creatures he had considered primitive animals just hours before. How is this possible? He roared at his remaining officers. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. We have weapons that can destroy planets. How are these humans defeating us? His tactical officer's voice was barely a whisper. Sir, our analysts believe the humans have been preparing for this invasion for generations. Every piece of technology they stole from us, they improved. Every battle they lost taught them new tactics. They turned their entire planet into a trap. Vrak stared at the tactical display in growing horror. His fleet of 50,000 ships had been reduced to less than 5,000. The planet Earth, which should have been an easy conquest, had become a death trap for his forces. But Admiral Sarah Chen was not finished. Dr. Wong, she called from the command center, initiate the electromagnetic pulse. Disable every alien ship inside the barrier. Admiral, that will also disable our own ships, Wong warned. Sarah looked at the display showing human and alien vessels locked in deadly combat above her world. Send the signal to all our ships. Tell them to prepare for EMP in 60 seconds. Any ship that can't get clear, tell them Earth will remember their sacrifice. Captain Torres received the warning with 30 seconds to spare. All ships emergency retreat. Get outside the barrier now! Some human ships made it to safety. Others, locked in close combat with alien vessels, could not escape in time. The electromagnetic pulse that erupted from Earth's surface was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Every electronic device within the planetary shield stopped working instantly. Alien ships went dark and began falling toward Earth like dead stones. Emperor Vrak's flagship lost power and started spinning helplessly toward the planet's surface. In the darkness of his bridge, lit only by emergency lights, he finally understood what he was facing. These are not primitive beings, he whispered to himself. These are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The massive alien ship crashed into the Pacific Ocean with the force of a nuclear explosion. When human rescue teams reached the wreckage, they found Emperor Vrak barely alive in the twisted metal of his command bridge. Admiral Sarah Chen stood over the defeated emperor in a military hospital beneath the ocean floor. Vrak looked up at her with a mixture of fear and respect. Your species should not exist, he said weakly. You are too dangerous, too unpredictable. Sarah smiled coldly. We exist because we adapt. We exist because we survive. And we exist because we never give up. 3 days later, the planetary shield finally came down. Human ships emerged from hidden bases across the solar system to collect the wreckage of the invasion fleet. Not a single alien vessel had escaped. The news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Every species, every empire, every civilization heard the same impossible story. A primitive world had defeated the most powerful invasion force in galactic history. On the bridge of her flagship, now orbiting safely above Earth, Admiral Sarah Chen addressed the galaxy for the first time since the invasion began. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force, speaking to all species in this galaxy. Her voice carried to every corner of known space. For too long, you have seen humanity as weak prey to be hunted and conquered. In command, centers across 1,000 worlds, alien leaders listened to her words with growing unease. Today you learned the truth. We are not prey. We are Earth. We protect our own. We remember our enemies, and we never, ever forgive those who threaten our families. The communication ended with a simple message that would echo through galactic history. Earth stands ready. Come in peace, or do not come at all. In the months that followed, something remarkable happened. Species that had been enemies for millions of years began asking Earth for protection. The galaxy had learned to fear humanity, but they had also learned to respect them. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Earth's first orbital city, looking out at the stars that no longer seemed so hostile. Behind her, Captain Torres approached with a smile. "Admiral, we're receiving diplomatic requests from over 200 worlds. They all want to form alliances with Earth," Sarah nodded. The galaxy had tried to destroy humanity and failed. Now they wanted humanity to protect them from other threats. "Send them all the same message," Sarah replied. "Earth protects those who come in peace, but we never forget those who come in war." As she watched human ships patrol the space around their home world, Sarah Chen smiled. The day Earth went silent had ended. The age of human protection had begun. The heavens had learned fear, but they had also learned hope.